Hi, everyone. Good to see you through a YouTube video. I hope you're having a good Monday. Just wanted to stop and get you some brief devotional thoughts here yet today. And wow, quite a storm we had here last night, at least up by us. We were about a mile and a half as the crow flies from some significant damage from what they're saying could have been a tornado. Um, and got to thinking about that, and it got to remind me of some scriptures, and I thought I'd share that with you here today. Uh, Psalm 18, beginning with verse 1. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I am saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress, I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. So, whether it's severe weather like we had last night, and it was just before midnight when our phones started going bananas in the other room, and uh, before you know it, we're all awake and going, hey, what's going on? Where's the storm? Is it close? Do we need to take shelter? All of those kinds of things. First thing that I did, quite honestly, was put it in the Lord's hands and say, well, Lord, you've got this. And for us, being still less than a year in Florida and not used to houses that don't have basements, it's like, well, where do you go during a storm like this? And yes, I know you don't have to email me. We know where to go in the case of a tornado or a storm like that. So we're all good when it comes to that. But ultimately, we do have to trust in the Lord, don't we? And we do have to send our cries up to the Lord. It's the same thing with COVID-19. Where do we go? Well, we don't have a basement. That's not going to work anyway for COVID-19. And we shelter down, but viruses you can't see. If it's going to be in your neighborhood or in your house, or who knows, all the bazillions of things that we touch and all of that. Ultimately, our hands are not, our fate and our health is not in our own hands. It's not in whether or not we wash and disinfect, although we should do all of those things. Our help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And Psalm 18 here it reminds us here, King David wrote this psalm, and I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is our strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge. That's where we go to be safe from the storm. That's where we go to be safe from COVID-19. That's where we go to be safe from economic tragedies and hardships that everybody's very worried about right now. We go to the Lord. I call to the Lord who is worthy of praise, and I am saved from my enemies. Then, verse 4, all this talk of death and destruction and the cords of death entangling me, the torrents of destruction overwhelm me. Some of you may feel overwhelmed right now, too. You might feel like the cords of the grave are coiling around you, the snares of death are confronting you. But we do what David did. In my distress, I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. And that brings me and you peace, to know that God hears our prayers. He hears our cries. He loves his children. He wants only the best for us. So we rest and we can go back to sleep, even in the midst of the storm at night or whenever it is that you sleep, knowing and trusting that our future is secure in the strength of God. He is our rock, our fortress, and our deliverer, and he will deliver us. God's blessings on the rest of your day today, as you continue to put your faith, your hope, your trust in Him. See you soon.